They were going to discuss what the best service is to sell online and perhaps even offline right now to make the most money in 2018. So after this live stream, you'll know which service to sell, which services not to sell, and we'll also discuss some other stuff. We'll discuss why it matters, why it doesn't matter, and also what kind of projects to take, what kind of clients to take, and so on. So it's going to be very valuable live stream. I think it's actually going to be one of the most valuable of 2017 that I've done, considering that it's based on our market research, is based on real data that we collected in the real world. So if you're ready to run an agency, or you want to start an agency, or you want to be a freelancer, or you already are a freelancer, and you want to change to a new service to sell, then this live stream is also for you. Or if you're just new at business and you don't know what to sell, then this live stream is definitely for you. It's going to be very valuable for you. It's going to allow you to figure out which service to focus on, what kind of technical skills to learn or not learn, and so on. Like we'll see where it goes, because it's also based on what kind of questions you guys ask in the chat here. Hi Vlad, welcome. So, and to my friends who are listening to the podcast, you can ask questions, but next time just hop over to my Facebook page and comment on something, so you automatically get updates from the Alex Vitkin bot. He's going to tell you when I go and do live streams in the near future. So let's get started. So basically, before we start talking about anything, and I will tell you exactly what to sell in this live stream, by the way, but before I tell you that, something very, very important that people overlook, okay? So it's not about what you sell, it's how you create the business that sells it, so you're not just a cheap freelancer trapped in a self-created job, okay? Let me repeat that. If you know what to sell, but you don't know how to create a business around it, then you're going to end up medium paid or well-paid freelancer, but it's just going to be a job that you create for yourself, and it's not going to be very good. So if you figure out what to sell based on this live stream today, then please also commit to building a business. Please also commit to having a business model that actually works to make you a business owner and not just a cheap freelancer, okay? Because I want you to be a successful business owner. I don't want you to become a freelancer who just runs around and does technical work for people, okay? That's what this live stream is about. So also, I don't want you to be a freelancer that does everything, right? I don't want you to just go around and do all the services, all the stuff that I recommend together. I want you to pick something and specialize in that. You cannot be good at everything. It's not possible. You cannot sell everything at the same time in a business. It just doesn't work like that. You need to pick out one thing and just focus on that one thing. And that definitely works. The world and the market rewards people who focus. They do not reward people who are generalists, who are like trying to dabble in multiple things at the same time. They do not get rewards. They do not get rewarded. They do not make a lot of money. But people who focus and learn deeply, those are the people who make the most money and have the most successful business. So also, people think they just need to know what to sell and they'll be successful. This is 100% not true. Just knowing what to sell does not make you successful and will not allow you by itself to build a successful business. So you need to know other skills as well, which I'll discuss in this live stream, okay? So, let me talk about that some more. So basically, just one of the things you need to learn along with what to sell is how to actually sell, how to actually do sales, very important, but also how to manage expectations of clients. So negotiation and expectation management, super important, very, very heavily overlooked skill. There's business owners who are making 6 figures but don't know how to do that. Their life is a living hell. So you need to know how to sell and to manage expectations and set up the deals in a way where your clients aren't calling you in the middle of the night and aren't like fucking you over basically with their demands and ridiculous expectations. And how to make sure also that so that even the happy clients, that they're even more happy, and that you under promise and over deliver, so that they recommend all their friends to you. So after a year and a half in business, your business can rely completely on referrals, right? So it's very valuable. Like all of these skills are actually more valuable than what to sell. Like in fact, what to sell is one of the less important things. So another thing that I want to share before we go into the services to sell is free projects. So a lot of people here will think if I get into this thing that Alex recommends, that I'm going to have to do free projects to build a portfolio. This is 100% not true. If you have a good business model, you have a good funnel, you're good enough at sales, you will not have to offer your services for free ever to build a portfolio. So, or cheap. You will not have to sell your services very cheap to build a portfolio. That's 100% not necessary. Okay. So one of the things we focus on in Daily Business Hustle is to make sure that from the first moment you're able to build a business where that is not important. So from the first moment you're building a business where you're getting sales and you're getting paid a decent amount of money for the work that you do. All right. So also, before I give you the list, I'd like you to know that the best thing, the biggest mistake that I made, and the best thing that you can learn right now is to learn from someone who's maybe a peer, but about a year, maybe 2, maybe 5 years maximum ahead of you in the business. If you try to learn from people who are like 25 years ahead, they work in a different paradigm. They don't even understand what the fuck you're talking about with beginner questions, right? So what I recommend is learning from people who are just a few years ahead, learning from peers, which is what we do in Daily Business Hustle, learning from peers, people who deeply understand the troubles and the issues that you're facing as a new business owner or freelancer, right? That's who I recommend learning from. When you're learning all these skills, including sales, including how to deliver and so on, make sure you're learning from someone who's just a little bit ahead of you, right? So also learn automation as soon as possible. Like a lot of people, they start getting sales $3, $4, $5, $7,000, and they just do all the work themselves. Like don't do that. Don't do all the work yourself. Not a very good idea. I don't recommend doing all the work yourself for very long at all. Just in the beginning, maybe a little bit, and then outsource. Learn how to automate, create processes, and hire people. Also very, very important. Even more important than what to sell, okay? And finally, before we go into the things to sell, technological knowledge, right? So the actual tech knowledge of what to sell as a service, it's only 20% of the importance. 80% of the importance are the human skills. And I know this is cliche and whatever, but I'm telling you, 80% of the importance of any project, of any business, human interaction, and how you deal with humans, how good you are at sales, right? Especially on sales calls. 80% of the importance is human-to-human interaction, and 20% of the tech knowledge. You can, in fact, close sales and run a business without any technical knowledge. It's 100% possible, and you can do it, I can do it, everyone can do it, okay? So those are just some things that we teach in Daily Business Hustle, along with what to sell and how to deliver it. But we'll announce spots soon in Daily Business Hustle, as I always announce every 3 months on my Facebook profile. But for now, let's get started with some of the services you can sell, okay? So the first service, this is one of the main services that we currently recommend to sell to people, is ClickFunnels, okay? So when you sell something as a freelancer, there's people selling websites, there's people selling that kind of stuff, WordPress and whatever. Don't sell that. You can, of course, it's possible, but it's just not recommended. It's not the current recommended rising in popularity, easy to deliver service that a lot of people make a lot of money with. If you want to make a lot of money right now, ClickFunnels, #1 thing to sell, because it's easy to deliver. It's not very technical. It has great capabilities. It's a funnel, not just a website. So it's something growing and more interesting than websites. You don't have to be like some kind of developer or learn PHP or anything like that, and you can still offer that service. The second thing is something called native ads. That's in high demand right now. If you're a freelancer or you're running a digital agency, native ads, something you can learn. It's a more complicated skill. It's harder to hire for, but it's definitely very valuable, very high in demand right now. The third thing is funnels in general. ClickFunnels is a type of funnel. It's like a tool you can use, but funnels in general, like with email marketing and so on, no matter what platform you use, funnels in general, great thing to sell. Apps, very complicated. Apps are very complicated, even if you don't do the work yourself. Projects are complicated. You need to sell apps for like $10,000 plus if you want to do an app properly. Find a very good agency, maybe from India, maybe from Eastern Europe, maybe from the Philippines, but you're going to have to find a very good agency to work with that is going to be your supplier if you're going to sell apps. And you need to really understand what you're doing if you sell apps. But the profits are very high. It's a high ticket sale, so you're going to make a lot of money with apps if you know what you're doing, and if you are good enough at sales and project management and so on. Lots of money to be made with apps. The third thing is to sell e-commerce solutions, right? So this is not some WordPress website, like installing Shopify for someone and making it work in a certain way as like an e-commerce funnel, basically. Minus the lead generation. It's very, very valuable, high in demand, very profitable, very high ticket item as well. So it should start at like $3,000-$4,000 cheapest e-commerce implementation. Then one of the last things that I'm going to recommend is SEO. Still works, I know, still works. If you can offer SEO, you can deliver to local businesses, can still make a lot of money. And the final thing, last but not least, email marketing and copywriting. Very valuable long-term skill. The advantages, very valuable skill. If you're a deep learner, maybe a little bit introverted, you're going to be very good at this, potentially, if you practice daily. Disadvantages, it's very hard to hire for. You're going to have to do a lot of the work yourself, but you're going to be a very highly paid freelancer potentially, and you're going to potentially even ask people for a percentage of the profits from anything that you do as an email marketer or copywriter. So basically, if you're going to go into that path, you're going to be always kind of a freelancer, most likely, unless you start offering your own product and selling it online using your other skills. So let's go into some of the questions here. There's guys asking questions in chat before I leave you. So what about explainer videos? Sure, that's also one. I didn't want to mention that one because, well, I just didn't want to mention that one, but that one's also pretty good, yeah. Facebook ads, it works. It's just like very competitive currently. So unless you're part of Daily Business Hustle, I don't recommend selling Facebook ads because otherwise the guys in the mastermind are just going to kind of crush you, because the competition is insane right now. they really, like, if you join Daily Business Hustle, you can sell Facebook ads. Yeah. If you join our mastermind, Facebook ads also is a good service to offer. Because we'll teach you how to do it properly. There's not a lot of people who know how to do this properly. So someone said, get paid 100% upfront with clients. Yeah, absolutely. Please do. And Adrian is asking, is it okay to sell only one niche? Yeah, if you're outside of freelancing websites, only one niche is highly recommended. So the sooner you can get to that point, the better for your business, because you'll be able to charge more money and offer a better service for a specific niche. That's always a good idea. So especially if you're not on freelance websites, but have like a quote unquote real funnel, not just the beginner funnel. Other than that, that's all the questions that I have here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks very much. Daily live streams, Monday to Friday. You know it. People are telling me that they're valuable. So as long as they're valuable, I'm going to keep doing them.